And people like him will have to come to people like me to buy them, and I can charge them more money and make them pay more, and I can make a profit. That's how I feel about you resellers, man. You resellers are demonic. You resellers, I think most of you resellers are on the Epstein list. That's just, it's just my opinion. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for your neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Hi, neighbor. What's good, y'all? It's your boy OG Laced Up. And good Saturday to you good folk. Now, I'm going to get right to it. I was out this morning doing what I do. Came home, took a nap, so it's a little late. So I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I took a nap. So I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I'm not going to waste a lot of my time. I'm not going to waste a lot of y'all time. The Wolf Gray 5s dropped today. And I don't know what to say, man. I can't give y'all fake excitement. I can't do it. They're just sneakers. But what I can do, every once in a while, I can really drive home the truth, right? Because that's all I like to give. I don't like to give you guys BS or fake hype, But I like to give you guys truth. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of guys who claim to be sneakerheads on YouTube don't be giving you the really real. And from this day forth, I'm not going to ever consider myself a sneakerhead. I never considered myself a sneakerhead. I think we throw that term around pretty loosely. I'm just a guy who digs sneakers. You know what I mean? I hate to say I'm a street guy, but that's what I am. There's a negative stigma that goes with being a street guy, but that ain't always been the case. You know what I'm saying? The streets was just a place where we hung out. We didn't have, plush recreational centers. We couldn't go hang out over our friend's house with the swimming pool and the basketball courts. We just pretty much hung out in the streets. We weren't doing anything wrong or doing anything, of the criminal sort. It's just where we hung out because we had nowhere else to hang out. And then our mothers wouldn't let us hang around the house because they just cleaned up. They wanted us out of the house so we won't mess up the house that they just spent all day cleaning up. But either way, to get back to some realness, right? Days like this are days that I sit back and say, okay, you know what I mean? It's a positive thing when you are the real. And see, people will be like, I'm real. What do you mean by real? Real just means, you come from a certain cut of the cloth. So, not to get too far into it, these Wolf Gray 5s, they were real. It's certain shoes that drop that the real know, right? And one thing about the real, we don't talk a lot. We don't come to the internet and talk about stuff. We didn't come back and say, "Oh, I can't wait for these Wolf Gray 5s. Oh, they are gonna." The real don't do that. You know what I'm saying? If we like something, we keep it close to our heart, and then when it's time to go get them, we go get them. If the real let all you guys know what we liked, you guys would run out, try to buy them, and then you would try to sell them to us at an inflated price. You guys don't even want the Wolf Grey 5s. You know how I know? Because y'all wasn't tripping about them. Like, I know certain big YouTubers at first who thought that these weren't going to do nothing. And the only reason they thought that these weren't going to do nothing is because that's how they really felt about them. You know what I'm saying? And nothing wrong with going to college. But a lot of these college guys who in fraternities, you know, that's a privilege thing. To be an athlete, to go to college, to become a professional, you know, ball player. Yo, we all wanted to do that, but not everybody got a chance to. You know, the people who got left behind, who didn't get those opportunities, you know, we had to resort to congregating in the streets. So that's all I'm saying when it comes to the streets. There's a certain level to it, you know? And not everybody's going to know how street guys think, you know? Because we don't want y'all to know how we think, you know? So the streets came out and got them. That's all I got to say. Sneakerheads had no idea that the street guys wanted these. And we like it like that. You know what I'm saying? And I keep pointing over here. I don't even know if you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see. Huh. You know? I don't see too many videos about these. Not yet anyway. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. Or maybe some people have to wait to get theirs to come in or ship. You know what I'm saying? Which I can dig it. You know? And I'm the same way. I have a few that I have to wait, you know, for them to come in to ship as well. But, you know, it's just certain things you know about. And then, like, there's some shoes that I won't even bother with. Okay? Like the Unions, I didn't try for them. I'm not gonna bother with them. The Undefeated Fours, I didn't bother with them. The Gammas, I didn't bother with them. What else am I not gonna bother with? Your Cherry 13s, I'm not gonna bother with them. It's a lot of shoes this year. Y'all can have. I don't care to have them. I don't care how hyped they are. I don't care how much they're reselling for. You know, it's just certain shoes I don't want. You know, those Fragment and Union ones. A Sneaker Life really told the truth. I like him. He keeps it real. He did say that they gave him Ronald McDonald vibes. And I feel that way about a lot of the Union collaborations. Ronald McDonald shoes. I felt that way about the Brick by Bricks. They look like Ronald McDonald shoes, you know, but hey, teach his own. You won't have to worry about me wanting them or getting in your way trying to get them. I won't even buy them to try to resell them. You can have them. But certain shoes, when I want them, you know, I focus in and I get them. And I accomplished that by not telling none of you guys about them. I'm not going to tell you guys what I want. Because if I did, you'd be like, oh, he wants those. People like him, they want them too. Huh. If I can buy them, and people like him will have to come to people like me to buy them, and I can charge them more money and make them pay more, and I can make a profit. That's how I feel about you resellers, man. You resellers are demonic. You resellers, I think most of you resellers are on the Epstein list. That's just, it's just my opinion. But either way, no more delay. Let's check out the new stuff, the eye display. Boom. Here you go. You can probably tell by the bag where I got them. But like I said, I'm not even going to tell y'all that. But if you can tell by the box, there's a box, here's a box, there's a box. Now, I saw these online and I started having mixed feelings because some of them actually look goofy. And I was kind of worried that they would look goofy. And so I took a chance, right? I know I wear 11 and a half typically. But I didn't know what would look goofy or not. So I went with the size 11, and then what I have here is a size 12, right? And what I noticed, right? Hope you guys can see this, man, because my camera sometimes it focuses, sometimes it doesn't. And until I can figure that out, we'll just have to deal with it. But this is the size 12. Okay? And this is a size 11. Okay? Now, let's look at these. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Right? Hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about. You see how the toe on that size 12 and that's a size 11? You see how the size 11 is the shape I like. That's what I want. When I saw that, I was like, I don't know if I like those. That toe box is just real goofy, compared to the toe box on this size 11. So that's what I meant. So I had to get multiple pair just to find out which one I wanted or if I wanted them at all. Because if they all were goofy like this, then I would be like, nah, nope. I got a camera over here. Let me. See, look at this. Look. Let's look at it. Right? Are we? No. We have to go the same size. You see that size 12 there? Right? See that? And then that's an 11. You see that toe box? See that toe box? This toe box looks goofy. This toe box is on point. We don't do this. In the streets, we don't do goofy. But you sneakerheads, you don't care if it's goofy or not. Yeah, you sneakerheads, y'all don't care if it's goofy or not. And I noticed that. I saw a lot of you guys trying these on. And they look goofy. But y'all didn't say nothing about it looking goofy. But it absolutely looks goofy. And if they look like this, I'm not going to wear them. Now, this is just what I have today, right? I have an 11 and a half coming. So hopefully that 11 and a half will not look goofy. But if the 11 and a half looks goofy, I'm going to go with the 11. See, look at it. Look at this. It just looks goofy, bro. Look how big and goofy that looks. And I mean, to go from an 11 to a 12 and look that goofy is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, these 12s, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Like, I'm definitely, I'm not reselling nothing. I mean, I might keep them and put them on ice, but I'm never gonna wear that goofy looking size 12, bro. I'm not gonna wear the goofy looking size 12. Okay? I'm not gonna do it. I said it, and I meant it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And this is my first time kind of, looking at them. Like I said, I was out and about. I went to a few places. I didn't even go to the mall. I didn't waste my time. Because I know the mall was dry. I actually saw the guys who actually have the resale shop in the mall. They were actually at the stores I was at. I'm like, why y'all at my store? Well, not my store, but But that let me know the mall was dry, because usually everything that comes into the mall finds its way into that resale shop. So I definitely didn't understand why they had to be all the way on my side of town, But yeah, I grabbed these with no problem. I got another pair. I got a couple pair that are being shipped, and those one's an 11 and one's an 11 and a half. Only because I planned on doubling up. This white sock liner, yeah, I had to double up. If I'm going to wear them, I know that I will need two to even feel comfortable wearing them. Icy bottom, all of that. Tell you the truth, this was a shoe I was really on the fence about. I did want them, but, sometimes you have no choice on what the design is. So you just go with what it is. I definitely would have just preferred it to be the regular gray here, gray there, and not a totally iced out bottom. But sometimes you don't have that. You don't have that choice, so you just go with what's there, And the quality isn't that bad on this pair. It's, some are better than others. Now, the quality on this one is a little better. It's crazy. Quality on this one isn't as bad either. It's just that goofy toe box. Now, I just want to do this one more time. On the top is a size 12. On the bottom is a size 11. Look how much goofier and longer that looks. That's just, oh my God. Yeah. And then look how wide it looks. Yeah, I can't do that 12. I'm not going to walk around looking goofy in a pair of shoes. But either way, man, I just want to tell you about my experience today. I ended up copping, no problem. It wasn't a big deal, as far as it was no commotion. As far as the lines outside, it's pretty much organized. People came and got their pairs, and that was that. I noticed more women and kids out getting their pairs. You know what I'm saying? Tax time, of course. So there's a lot of income tax checks. But I saw a lot of females, and they were getting, all the toddler and little kid sizes. They were definitely, they wasn't playing. They wasn't playing. So, yeah, they were getting a lot of those. And it was no problems, Matter of fact, I kicked it with a few people, Yeah, that was that. I think I've said enough. And, yeah, peace.